Hey everybody, my name's Daniel Harms. Today we're talking everything has to do with the Chiefs offense, the struggles, some of the things that they can do to improve upon the offensive issues they've had in the past couple of games, as well as how they can improve going forward. This is RGR football. Well, that was a little interesting. I think the video kind of clipped out for a little bit there, but regardless, we are going to get on with the film room today, and I hope I don't screw up the audio this time because it was not so much fun. But again, we're talking about the Chiefs offense. What is going on in Kansas City? The offense the last couple of games have been it's been odd because the first 4.5 or so games, they were moving the ball whenever they wanted to. They were still able to do a lot of the things that they've really been able to. And as much as I can tell, the Chiefs just keep finding ways to ram their heads into the wall. They have these drives that work well. Then they seem to move away from it and get into their own heads a little bit, thinking that, oh no, now the safeties and the coverage will change because we did this a little bit. That's just not how it works in the NFL. We all know that. So what we're going to do today, talk a little bit about some of the struggles that I saw on tape against the Giants, and then I'm going to get into some of the stuff that I saw that was actually really good that they can continue to use and actually use to exploit some of these defenses. So, and I do apologize today, guys. My daughter did get me a little sick. I'm probably not going to answer as many questions as I normally would. My throat is not exactly at 100%, but that's not going to stop us doing film review today. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So, this is one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing with the Chiefs offense, and it is in the red zone. The route combinations that we're seeing everywhere on the field have been confusing at times, but for the most part, they're asked to do more in the red zone because teams are dropping seven, and that's much harder to do in terms of getting open. So this is what I'm talking about. This is you guys are going to remember exactly what play this is when it rolls through. So just let me show you here real quick. This is it's always hard to watch plays like this happen on loop because you know that they shouldn't happen and they shouldn't continuously happen, but they do. They find ways to inject themselves into this Chiefs team. And one of the things that I do notice is I don't know whether it's Andy Reid and influencing more of Patrick Mahomes, but if you watch Josh Gordon up here, this is what he's basically doing. He's just going to get to the goal line and then just come across the field, okay? And right now, what happens is the Giants, are passing off receivers. So this guy's going to drop into a little zone here, but he's going to pass Gordon off to this middle inside linebacker, whoever's going to be covering this part of the field. Okay. And this is third down. So you are also trying to convert a first down. So let's go ahead and go through it up a little bit. Yeah. So the slot receiver, the slot corner that was on Tyreek is actually dropping into the zone and the one that I'm talking about. So they're bracketing Tyreek Hill with this corner and this safety, and they're pretty much going to do the same thing with Travis Kelsey here with this corner. Okay, you all obviously have three rushers from the Giants, so that means you have eight in coverage. That's the one of the biggest problems is because especially on third down, they're not able to get much going because you have four guys running running a route out here in the zone trying to get open into the end zone trying to get a first down. And then you have a fifth guy out here in the flat, but it's not working properly. But this is what I want to see the Chiefs do more of. So let's go ahead and slow it and go forward. Obviously, you have Byron Pringle here, who's running the route he's asked to run. He's just running a little slant here, right here. So you can't get this ball here. Obviously, you got two guys just sitting here. That's all that is. You have this guy here and here on Kelsey. But what I want the Chiefs to do and what I want Mahomes to do is hit Josh Gordon right here. Okay. We're gonna go forward a little bit more. Because this, like I said, that corner is gonna pass him off. And he's actually looking right here. He is currently looking at Josh Gordon. You see this gap right here? I know he's going to get hit, okay? He's going to get hit, but this is the NFL. You have to understand that your players are going to get hit sometimes and your receivers are going to get hit, and you have to lead them. So the way that the defenses have been playing the Chiefs, Mahomes has to throw this, in my opinion, okay? He's got to throw this ball right now. Right now. I know he's going to get hit, but again, he's going to fall into the end zone, but instead he hitches up a little bit right here, you see? Because he's uncomfortable. The slight little hitch step right here. Just this little tiny hitch. He's trying to buy himself some time, even though he's got, no worries happening right here. But yeah, I don't disagree, Stevie. He is afraid of the tipped interception. You're probably not wrong, but at the end of the day, this you have to hit that throw. Okay. So instead, Mahomes works the play, works the pocket, which is fine. There's still nothing wrong here. But again, you're seeing the bracket of the coverages everywhere in the red zone. Like no one's open because you've got two receivers in everyone's vicinity, except for Jerick McKinnon, who's got one guy here, but he's not working down to the ball. So at the end of the day, this ends up being a pass that he probably still should have been caught by Gordon as he leaks out. Mahomes comes up and he's got to make a weird play here. Just Gordon misses it and it ends up being it's just a problem. No, I know, Stevie. I know you don't disagree. I'm just saying, like, they have to do it, and that's one of the problems that they're facing right now is that Mahomes is playing with a confidence level that every time he throws a ball like that, like just like this, it ended up happening anyway. He was afraid of the tip ball so much that he ended up not throwing it to Josh Gordon initially, you know, reneging on that, and then going to him again when he's wide open, and then it goes off of his face mask, and no, off of his through his hands, off of Jerick McKinnon's face mask, and up into the air. So it's everything's going wrong. And like I said, most of the problems that they're facing, from what I've seen from guys not getting open, is in the red zone because there's a much condensed space. The Giants and other teams are dropping 7 and 8 into coverage, and unfortunately, they're just not able to get open, especially with the route concepts that they're running. So, like I said, that was the first clip, and we all know. I know McKinnon looked wide open on that play, but he is trying to score a touchdown. Another thing, Mahomes can sometimes do that. But again, it's third down. If he throws it to McKinnon in the flat, I think probably he gets close to a first down. But that's another thing Mahomes still needs to do, and that's the thing. It's a problem with the reading. He never even looked into the flat because he's trying to score a touchdown. So that's just kind of part of the problem with everything. So all right, I'll answer a few questions and I'll get in. Thank you, Caden, for the question. Why does Mahomes run out of clean pockets? He's making it harder on himself. It's because he's got a timer going off in his head telling him he's got to start moving because his best plays have come off of buying time. He thinks that if he buys enough time, that sometimes someone will come open, especially when he bails out. He forces defenders to come at him. So right now, Mahomes is thinking in his head, okay, defenses are just playing back. If I can get out of the pocket and I can move and I can make them come to me and open up some lanes, I can find a way to get the ball down the field. He's got to stop doing that so much, and he has to go through his reads more. We did see it against the Giants. He got into the flat more, and we saw multiple 10-plus yard gains off of Williams and guys in the flat, just and Hardman getting out there and working the flat. So yes, I do see him actually getting there a little bit more. He's gonna get there. He's gonna get there more. And as much as it was like his ADOT goes down a huge amount in this game against the Giants because he was doing that, and that's what you have to do. You can't look at the stats and think that it's a bad thing because he's getting ball into the flat, but they're getting 10-plus yards on those gains. So at the same time, you have to understand as the quarterback, as Mahomes, you can't make everything put it on your own shoulders. The play calls are what they are, and you have to be able to work within them. And they've been able to get some into the flats. I think you're going to see that a little bit more going forward. And as we get through this, you're going to see some of the concepts that were working and how they can really manipulate defenses without having to make the big play. But as like I said, I apologize for the nose stuff, guys. My like I said, my daughter did get me sick, so I'm trying to work through it here. This is another one of those red zone plays where the Chiefs didn't have anybody open at first, and you're going to see, quite a bit of congestion once again because the Giants do a very good job playing sound coverage defense. Mahomes tries to get out of the pocket, make something happen, and almost gets a touchdown out of it. But one thing that I want to see from this team specifically, so we're seeing players not get open, right? In the red zone. We're seeing them not do that. So watch Byron Pringle here. He's going to come out and kind of turn inside a little bit and break down here. But this is right into this corner's zone. Okay? This is part of the problem is defenses are playing these zone coverages and they're just sitting back, and the Chiefs aren't doing a lot in their attempts to rid them of that. For example, right here, just watch Byron Pringle first, and then we'll get to the other guys. But if you have him on a timing route where Mahomes is holding the safety, holding the linebackers here, and you have him break to the outside here instead of break down. Right? So if you have him break to the outside, okay, and throw the ball out here, right here, okay, this corner can't make a play on it, and you get close to a first down, even if he gets tackled, okay? You have to start adapting the way that the routes are working, because if you're just constantly turning plays into the coverage, you make it harder for Mahomes to make this throw. This throw should be a turn to the outside, in my opinion, on his route. He should still break down. Obviously, he should still run this curl, but it should be to the outside. You have to adapt to this coverage because this guy, he can break off the corner here. He can break him off. I've seen him do it. He actually does it right here, turning inside, but you can't throw the ball because of that. So that's part of the issue is the route combinations are just not working. They're going into the flow of the defense. Also, not a bad idea to have a crosser, but you have you've got McCall Hardman running just across. Then you have Kelsey kind of running this weird takes a lot of time to get into coverage thing, which I don't like at all. And they're not flooding these areas of the field. You've got one guy here. You've got Josh Gordon come up here, and then you have Travis Kelsey just running into the teeth of the defense. There's no one going to be open from that. Like that's just not going to happen. It's not going to get there. So it's a problem with the play calling too. Yeah, you can take a chance on the flat guy here. Just throw it, hope he makes somebody miss. I think Gore's got enough juice to let that happen. Again, not paying attention enough to what's going on. He's turned this way, right? He's looking this way. And Mahomes still has a nice pocket. Okay. This is perfect pocket. This is exactly what I want to see. And it's nice. He's got movement. He's able to do a lot of stuff. But again, he's looking for a touchdown on second down. This is a second down play. Hit the flat. Let him go. Okay. That's part of my issue with this play calling and with the way that the routes work out. Now, this, again, Mahomes gets out of the pocket, makes a play. Unfortunately, the play, he doesn't get it to McCole Hardman. He gets it too low. So here, yeah, right here. It's just too low. He's got to be able to make that. Okay. He's got to be able to get it to him. It's just so frustrating to watch that. We'll watch it through for everybody because I'm not sure if everyone's coming in and didn't see the play. But again, yeah. There we talk about guys not getting open, but at the end of the day, it's part of the routes that they're running right into coverage that are contributing to the issues, especially in the red zone. That's been one of the huge issues that I've seen is that they have these routes that should work like that Byron Pringle one that I pointed out earlier, and he needs to break to the outside because that's a throw that Mahomes should make. But again, he's hitching so much in the pocket, trying to keep going against his initial judgment to get out, and he does a good job there. He does a good job of working the pocket and eventually getting it to McCole, but he just doesn't make that throw. That's something else he needs to work on is be more mentally there and work on the throw. All right. So let's go ahead and see if I missed some questions, which I'm sure that I did. But again, thank you guys for joining me on this Wednesday evening. If you're just joining, my throat is not in a great condition. My daughter did indeed get me sick, so I'm going to do what I can with questions and trying to get through the film. And thank you for the question, Oregon Fishing. Dan, is it just me, or do the receivers seem to not be working back to pat or into open zones like they used to? Lots of standing around. It's got to do with the coaching too. Like they're working back, but they're working into zone covers, like on that specific play. If Byron Pringle continues to work back to the ball, there's a zone guy right there. Like the problem is that when they're turning into these routes and they're running the routes into some of the open areas, they're playing such aggressive underneath coverage. The Giants and the Titans, for example, played such aggressive with their linebackers in terms of being in a ton of throwing lanes that Mahomes can't get it to them where they typically would. Now, there's a play in the film review that I'm going to show you guys that is what they have to work to. They have to get it to this area and start attacking a little bit deeper, but you have to force teams to adjust this way. And like I said, I'm going to get to the clip, and we will get there. It's a really good adjustment that they made in the game. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the super chat, Zach Brown. I appreciate you guys in your videos. Always look forward to your phone breakdowns. And thank you. I really do appreciate the support, the love you guys continuously show everyone here at RGR. And again, I couldn't do it without Aaron here, who was in the chat. Thank you, Aaron, for being here every single night. We do these live streams. And again, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad I can help everybody out. And I'm hoping that the film reviews continue to go off like this. Thank you for the question, Doug. Just have to say it, Dan, you're the man. Thanks for what you do. Thank you. I appreciate that. And so I know this is probably coming up a few different times with my cursor. So do you guys have trouble seeing the cursor first off? Because I need to find a good one anyway. And I think Ryan needs to make me one, to be honest with you. I don't like what I'm having to use. It's just not able to see. I really don't have a good time seeing it. So again, if you guys can't see the cursor itself when I use it on the screen, just let me know. I'll work on changing that around. Thank you very much, Daryl. I appreciate the super chat. You've been such a great supporter. You guys do a so awesome job of supporting Ryan and I and everyone here at RGR. So okay, so sometimes it does appear and sometimes it doesn't. That's interesting. So can you guys see it right now? When I move it, does it disappear? I'm moving around a lot right now, just so you guys can see. So it does disappear. That's interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to work on that. Can't see it. Interesting. All right. Well, from now on, what I'll probably try and do is use the drawing stuff way more so you can actually see it. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this next clip, and we can. Okay. Let's figure this out. Let's go into the next clip. 3rd and 8. Okay. So some people can see it, some people can't. That's an interesting concept. All right. So this is another big issue that I'm seeing in. All right. So I can see some people are still having issues with it. That's fun. So it does work, but sometimes when Dan is highlighting a specific player or player, I don't. Oh, I know what's happening. So when I switch to the drawing part, it goes into this little pencil, and that's probably really hard to see. So right here. All right. So when I go to the screen draw part, like if I start drawing on it, it's hard to see it until I actually start making markings. That's probably what it is. Okay, I'll get it. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'll start using more markings so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So yeah, but this is something that I'm seeing a lot of on 3rd and 8s and 3rd and longs is still becoming an issue because if you guys noticed on the play before I showed it or after I showed it, look at all the routes down here. Look at all this space. Look at all of it. Okay, it's a problem. This is deep clear outs. Okay, it's deep clear outs. And it's 3rd and 8. So my what I'm having an issue with is I know that you see Jerick McKinnon over here on this side of the field because you have an overloaded defensive front. Okay, you have this overloaded defensive front. So you have one guy. So you have to have McKinnon over there. What I would like to see. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the drawer now. So I'm going to circle Tyreek Hill down here. Tyreek Hill is going to go in motion to this side. Okay, and what happens is you have Josh Gordon and McCole Hardman essentially running a deep clear out. But they're not having Tyreek Hill, who's motioning from right to left, fill this. Why is he not doing this? Why is he going into the coverage? Okay. Why is he coming into it? I don't. That's one of the biggest issues that I'm seeing. Did anybody see that? Did everybody see the drawing? So you can't see this? Oh, that's interesting. Huh. So that's been having the whole time that's been an issue. You guys haven't seen that working. Oh, that's not good. But it did use to, didn't it? And none of my videos you guys can see the drawing. Oh, okay. See, I don't know why it's not drawing on the screen. You can see this, but you can't see that. Huh. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to find a workaround. All right, I'm gonna have to use the arrow then. Okay, so Tyreek Hill is motioning from his spot here into a more condensed split. All right. You have both McCole Hardman, Josh Gordon. They're going to run deep, clear out routes. All right. They're going to run deep down the field. But they have Tyreek Hill run to the middle. Just run to the middle. That's not, you can't do that with these deep clear out routes. You got three corners out here. All right. So let's go ahead and go through the play a little bit more. So he's going to move over. And right here, number 30 is looking right at this safety. He's looking right at him. He's telling him, you're going to take him off, okay? So if you notice this, okay? You notice that he's being passed off, right? And Tyreek Hill is going to run just right to him. He's not coming out. This needs to be a different route to fill where these guys are now leaving because it's 3rd and 8. You need a pass play. It's against man coverage. You need him to come this way. You have to because he's running right into the coverage area. And unfortunately, with the way teams are playing Travis Kelsey extremely physically at the line of scrimmage, he can't get off of his block. See, look, he's being held and moved and shoved by James Bradbury. There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do about it. It's become an issue. It's being continuously being an issue with the way they're playing Travis Kelsey because they don't want him to get off the line of scrimmage. So I am so sorry, guys. I honestly thought you could all see the screen drawings, but I'm gonna have to find a way to work around that. So I'm so sorry about that, guys. I feel really, really bad sitting here using a screen drawing thing and it's not working. All right. So my apologies. That was very interesting. I'll answer a few more questions and we'll get into it. So thank you for the question, Lego. Hey Dan, what's up with the linebacker core? The Chiefs don't have a lot of options at linebacker. They have two guys that are going to be starters for hopefully a long time in this league in Nick Bolton and Willie Gay. And then they have a bunch of guys. Okay. Anthony Hitchens isn't going to be here next year, I don't think. I think when he comes back, he's going to be the Sam, which is probably the best position for him and for the rest of the team because you have to have Bolton playing Mike now. You can't have him go back. He's doing too well. He's learning more, everything that you needed him to do next year. He's learning all of that. So you can't take him out of that spot. And Ben Neiman is just he's not able to play the position the way that they need him to. It's not possible. I would honestly have rather see Dorian O'Daniel out there messing things up, much like Ben Neiman does, but doing it fast and being in spots and maybe getting his hand on the ball every now and then. That's what I would do. But I am not. I am not. Yeah, see, this is what I'm upset about. Like I was sitting here the whole time thinking that everyone could see these things, and I'm just crazy. Thank you, crazy. The Kelsey throw there was an overthrow on Mahomes or Kelsey get slow down. Yeah, it's supposed to be a timing throw. Mahomes is throwing to a certain spot on the field. He notices man coverage, but Kelsey can't get there because Bradbury's being so physical in that first 5 yards, and he's not. He throws off the whole timing of the play. Every team is doing that now. They're being very physical, and honestly, it's why the Kelsey has been so lethargic. He's looked so lethargic because he's being worn down every single game, time in and time out. He's being worn down because teams are being so physically demanding of him, and he can't get off of it all the time. It's not super easy, and they're just running him right up. His releases are straight out. Like he's not getting very much help, so it's tough to watch. Thank you for the question again, Lego. What did you think about how Smith played against the Giants? Are we talking, I assume, Trey Smith? Trey Smith had some ups and downs in this game, which has been indicative of his time in the NFL. He's an extremely physical, and right now he's technically sound. He still has some issues with his weight distribution. He got moved a couple times out of the way. He still has some issues with run blocking, and he holds sometimes. You guys saw that a little bit in in this game. He got called for that hold. So yeah, I think that he's playing very well, and they're going to continue to find ways to get him on probably more pulls and let him continuously attack like that. All right, so thank you, Scott. Who needs to step up the most this week against the Chiefs heads? Honestly, the offense needs to, and Mahomes needs to step up more. Literally, step up into the pocket and figure out how to navigate a pocket. They need to figure out how to get these play calls right. Like I said, I'm going to go over some clips in this film breakdown that show you where they can actually start to attack some of these defenses. All right, guys, I'm going to go into the next clip here. All right. At least we can all see this. All right. That's good. I'll figure this out. All righty. So one thing that I really like to see about, the team is that he still wants to get the ball down the field. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But here's the problem this creates, okay? This is 3rd and 10. I want you to just watch Byron Pringle, okay? Watch Byron Pringle. This is something Mahomes needs to do more of, okay? I have no issues with everything right now. Right now, he's holding the safety, he's holding the linebacker because he wants to get Tyreek Hill on this deep ball. So he's just watching, he's holding. And then Byron Pringle is helping Orlando Brown with his block. Look, they do a very good job of getting him matched up with his guy, okay? Holmes sit in the pocket, step up. Now get to Byron Pringle. Look at this. Look at all the space. Look at all the space. There's so much space on 3rd and 10. He's going at least 10, 15 yards. You're going to have Josh Gordon blocking this guy, and you have one guy to miss. And he might be able to take this the whole way, okay? Byron Pringle is an explosive player. He doesn't have Tyreek Hill speed, quickness, but we've seen him make guys miss in the open field. You need to get him the ball right now. He needs to take this and go the distance, okay? This is the problem. He wants to get this ball to Tyreek Hill so badly because he thinks if he can create a huge play down the field for possibly a touchdown, that it will get everything back on track. I know that this play eventually does come open because this 22 here stops moving and Tyreek gets open, but the ball was thrown into out of bounds. That ball has to go to Byron Pringle. It has to. He's wide open in the flat. He's wide open. Okay. And again, look at this. Look at this pocket he's got to work with. You're continuously seeing more and more examples of how he's been given time, and Mahomes isn't taking advantage of it fully. So that's part of the frustrating process for me. I want to answer some more questions. Thank you, Thomas. And thank you for the videos on Tuesday. I'm learning something new every time. Thank you. I appreciate that. You hold a quick question. Do you think now that the Chiefs have another tight end, will they go back to the 3 tight end game? So the reason that their 13 personnel was working so well is because of Jody Fortson. Jody Fortson gave them an option outside of blocking because he had proved to be an effective blocker. They could move guys in the run game, and they could also come off that with actual play action and hit them down the field with plays where Mahomes trusted him to go get the ball. They don't have that with this new guy. He's going to be pretty much a run guy, a run. I assume he's going to be a special teams and then a run blocker. Like he comes in and you assume he's going to run. So you might see more 12 personnel, some more 13 in general, just because they want to use more 13 personnel to try to get, some of the defense in positions where they can run play action off of it. You've seen it a couple times. You saw it against the Giants a little bit. They tried to do that. So he's pretty much just going to be a run blocker. I don't see him catching any passes, and I would hope they can run some more 13 personnel, but we'll see. Thank you, Albano, for the question. Do you think it's defensive holding on Kelsey? It's always holding on Kelsey. They're always holding him, but it's within 5 yards, so they're pretty much going to look the other way every time. That's been a huge problem, and unfortunately, they're just not going to. It's not going to happen anymore. Travis Kelsey he's become too good, and I think that a lot of it has to do with refs just saying, "Look, you got to deal with it at some point." And we all know that we don't want that to happen, but they're going to have to adapt what happens. They're going to have Kelsey find ways to release a little bit better, use him more in line, and maybe use him more as a a helper first and go out for your pass later to help get some of those holds off of him. I don't know. Thank you for the question, Lego. But what about Mike Hughes? And he's supposed to be much like the honey badger. Why are we not using him more? Mike Hughes is a. I'm honestly not sure, to be honest with you, but it's not great. Mike Hughes. He doesn't have a lot of the line of scrimmage tactics he used to have. He was a much better guy at the line of scrimmage, more physical, and being able to use his physicality in the NFL is not proven useful for him. So Mike Hughes doesn't have the short area quickness, at least not that I'm seeing, to keep up with guys on the outside. He gets beat pretty regularly in one-on-one coverage, and he's not much like the honey badger at all. He is not able to play safety. He's a corner who right now looks like it's not working very well. So thank you, Red. Yeah, I'm a little behind on your videos when your drawing tool is working. You may go back to see the day. So start and what changed. This is weird. All right. I mean, I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix this stuff. We'll see if I can work it again throughout the show. Maybe I can figure it out. Thank you, Red. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the videos. Maybe it doesn't work on live. Maybe it works on the recording. We'll see. I'll figure it out. Thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate that. Yes, yes, the hi Dan button always works. I will always respond to the hi Dan button. That is for sure. All right, thank you. Thank you for the super sticker, Lego. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love you all so much. Thank you, Chris. Hi, Dan. Yes. Air Crystals are we need. No worries. Okay, I know that it's a little bit easier to follow because it's really big, but I really like being able to draw stuff because it's what thought I was doing. So yeah, that's a little bit frustrating. But like I said, we'll figure it out. Definitely have the tools to be able to get that figured out. So here we shall get back into. Appreciate you guys' super chat so much. And all right, into more tape we go. Second and one. This is important. Okay, second and one, very important. Balls on the 24-yard line. All this stuff is great. This is what the Chiefs need to do more of. Okay, this is what they need to do more of. This is incredibly important. And it doesn't look like much, right? It doesn't look like much, but at the end there, you get that extra yardage. This is a 9-yard gain on second and one. Okay, you line up in a 22 personnel, extra tight end, and an extra running back, this fullback type, and you say, you know that it's second and one, but this is a deep shell. We're going to take advantage of this off coverage, and we're going to run down the throat a little bit. Okay, boom. This is what they're going to do. This is what they have to do more of, and find ways to get their running backs up the middle, because their most successful plays this year have been the inside zones. They've been these duos. They've been everything up the middle. Okay. So what you're going to see here is Joe Tooney is going to pull. You're going to have Michael Burton lead block, and then you're going to have block down, block down, block down. Okay. To account for this. So this is a power run up the middle right here. All right. And under center helps them specifically in the play action game, because you have that extra tight end, you have that fullback, and it brings linebackers up a little bit. So yeah, here comes the puller. You're going to have Michael Burton block out on this defensive end. You're going to have Tooney come up through the gap here, and this is the important part. Okay, Derek Gore, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Darrell Williams all do a good job of being patient. Okay, right here. This is the gap typically. Again, he stops a little bit. 49 is now coming around here, but it doesn't matter because you have Tooney coming up the gut. Follow your blocker and get 9 yards. Okay. Look at Blake Bell down here blocking. You've got great blocks here, and just let Derek Gore get 9 yards and then run after the impact there. So yeah, all these defensive ends and everybody, they do a really good job on this play. Okay. They have to be able to do that. They have to run the ball more specifically down in the red zone and in this red area, because you have to force these safeties to come up if you want to play more play action. If you want to play more routes in the red zone, you're never going to get that with the way that the safeties in these corners are playing off. So it doesn't make any sense to continuously run guys out there and not have any defenses afraid of the run game. They got to be able to do it. All right. Thank you very much, Albona, for the question. How much better would the defense be with DOD and Watts instead of Dan and Neiman? I don't know. I think they'd be marginally better because those guys are younger and they're faster and they can do things athletically that those guys can't do. So at the very worst, I think we're talking about a marginal improvement and you have more speed on the field. They're small guys, but I mean at this point, does it matter so much in what you're missing with those guys and those guys not on the field? So yeah, I don't know. I think marginal improvement is better. Thank you very much, Thomas, for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Excuse me. Thank you for the question, KS. Ingram is listed as a linebacker, but do the Chiefs plan on using him as defensive end? Yeah, he's an outside linebacker, and they have the similar responsibilities in terms of pass rush, and I think that's what you're going to see Ingram be, mostly a pass rusher. He's going to be definitely playing that outside linebacker, defensive end role. So he's going to move all around. And the Chargers did a great job of doing this with him when he was when he was there. They moved him around all over the defensive line, so he knows how to play all different kinds of positions. Thank you, Red Voice. Wow, it's amazing what you don't see on TV. Yeah, it's it takes me a few times even to get through all of the stuff that I have to go through and watch through again. So yeah, it's you miss so much. I even miss stuff watching on TV because I find myself still watching Patrick Mahomes most of the time, and I got to be able to do a better job of that, of actually watching and picking out stuff. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, Aaron. How much do you think Mahomes being a new father is affecting him? Lack of sleep, the back under his eyes are almost bad as mine. I think that we all deal with it differently, and I wouldn't imagine that it's impacting him a whole lot anyway. He was probably a guy that stayed up late to do his studying and stuff anyway. So at the very least, it's giving him more time to study, and at the end of the day, I feel like he's a professional and figure it out. He'll figure it out on his own. Thank you for the question, Jake. Is there a specific running back so far you think should be getting the Lions care of the Sherrys? Personally, I haven't been impressed by Clyde, or at least this year. Well, if the Chiefs were actually to use Clyde Edwards-Helaire the way that he was used in college, then he'd be great. He'd be perfect. He had 200-yard games back to back, and then he got hurt. And they did exactly what he's good at: running between the tackles, running some duel, running some power, getting him up the field. Okay, he's not an outside zone running back. He never was. He never has been. So if the Chiefs drafted him with the impression that they were going to get him on these outside zone plays and these stretch plays, that's terrible scouting on their own part. But when he's at his best, is what you're seeing all of these running backs succeed at. Getting up the middle is what he does best. What's what Derek Gore does best. It's what Darrell Williams does best. And it's funny because using more power and using more of these inside zones where you see them getting climbing to the second level. And that works best for all three of those backs. And I think that you're going to see Clyde get back. If they continuously do more power like this, you're going to see him have more success. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next. Whoop. Oh, there it is. Found it. The next clip. Let's ignore that other cursor coming out of here like that. So this is the play that I was talking about, okay? How they can start to attack a little bit more. You see, even with Demarcus Robinson there, all right? This is it. It's perfect. Okay. 1st and 10. They bring Marcus Kemp around. 1 second. Yeah, third quarter. Okay. 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So the Chiefs have already been doing more of this throughout the game, attacking more of the flats. And what this does, okay? Look, watch this guy here. Right here. The Giants have been playing very aggressive in the underneath coverage, okay? They've typically been stopping in these throwing lanes because the Chiefs love to run these deep curls here and do the same thing with Kelsey. So this is a three-man route. Kelsey's running his curl to the inside here, and Robinson's running his curl to the inside here. And then you just have Kemp sitting in the flat with 15 yards of separation, okay? So that's exactly what they need to do more. Find ways to force this space defender to crowd a little bit more to the sideline. Because if you start hitting these flats more like the Chiefs did in this game, look at the space now created. Okay, Demarcus Robinson can finally get into that throwing lane, and this is what I'm talking about. The spacing here, spacing here, spacing here. There's a huge gap now, okay, between this space defender and this space defender because you can go either here or here. So you have the ability to force some of these space defenders out of the way and get these throwing lanes in the intermediate, deeper parts of the field that Mahomes needs to attack to force defenses to come up. If you can hit these, if you can hit the flats, you can force defenses out of what they do because you're going to chunk them to death. And then when you get them into the red zone, you can actually run the ball. Okay. This is everything. Okay. It's just a little tiny thing. It's a little minute detail. But again, McCole Hardman in the flat, anybody out here in the flat, you can force this guy to be a little bit more space conscious and actually get a first down on first down. It's what they do best, turning first downs into first downs. And that's a little snippet of what it is, working the pocket and then being able to attack when you finally move some of these guys out of their positioning. Okay. 3-man route. It was only a 3-man route. They didn't have to force anything in there. That's all it was. It was perfect. Okay. That's the important part. Whew. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and answer just a few more questions, and then I'm going to get into the next clip. All right, thank you, Sean. Do you think McKinnon gets cut when Clyde is ready to come back? No, I think that they're going to put Derek Gore back down. That's what I think that they're going to do, but we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if McKinnon gets cut, but if you cut McKinnon, you have 3 running backs that are all kind of the same kind of guys. They're not outside zone. They don't have much speed. They don't have a whole lot of burst, and they can't do what Jerick McKinnon does. So even though they're not using him, which is baffling to me, I think that he stays on the team. All right. Thank you, Doctor Who. Shouldn't Gore start over CH? No, I don't think this is an overreaction because you have one game of Derek Gore who had a really great drive. Okay, really great drive. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has actual proof, not only from this season but last year, which people seem to forget, that he was on pace for over 1,000 yards rushing with a bad offensive line. He had multiple games, like I said, back to back, over 100 yards, and if they continuously do what they're doing now with more power and more inside zone, he's going to continue to find those games. Thank you for the question, Caden. Do you think the Chiefs should run more slant passes? So yes and no. They need to force those space defenders, like we just saw on the Demarcus Robinson completion, to commit to the flats a little bit more. Because, like I said, if you're running a slant route, when these defenses are just they're trying to sit in those throw lanes because the Chiefs love to do those little, not just slants, but those little curls that Demarcus Robinson just did. And they like to sit in those passing lanes. Even a slant route, it's the same kind of passing lane, and those linebackers can get in there and they can get their hands on the ball. So if you can start pressing the flat a little bit more, addressing to more flat and corner posts or corner routes, excuse me, and you can hit those consistently throughout a game, you're going to force them to be out of space all the time. That's where you can really start to manipulate them and attack them. All right, answer one more question, and then I will get to the next play. Thank you, Angry Drunken German. If we gave starter reps to Pringle, Gabe, Bolton, and embraced the youth movement, would the young mistakes really be worse than the current poor play? That's not a bad idea. I think that right now Pringle, last game specifically, did out snap to Marcus Robinson, but they're just not targeting him enough for me. But yes, I think that ideally that's what they have to do. They have to embrace youth. They have to embrace the speed that they have on their team, and those guys, Gay and Bolton specifically, are going to be the future of their linebacker core. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. All right. This is the last play, and it's a beautiful representation of what the Chiefs have to do more consistently on every single down. I can already see it, someone saying that Gore is more athletic than explosive than CH. He's not. He's about the same. I think CH is a bit more athletic in terms of making guys miss in the open field in the passing game, but that's just, what the film tells me. And again, this is your 3-by-1 formation that the Chiefs love to do. This is exactly the kind of thing that they have to do more of, okay? This is a 3rd and 12, and you get Tyreek Hill open, okay? So what you're going to see here, Demarcus Robinson's is the outside receiver. And this is more of a levels concept that Ryan and I have been talking about a lot. So you're going to have Demarcus Robinson run a short pattern, almost like a drag over the middle of the field. And you're going to have McCole Hardman run a deep almost diagonal, and then flatten out level over the middle of the field. And you're going to have Tyreek Hill run the intermediate part. Okay. This is how you can attack this defense. Okay. Right here. You have, you're attacking this middle defender. You have one guy come underneath him, one guy go behind him, and one guy go way deep to force the safety not be able to come down. Okay. Now, Mahomes' eyes are on the middle here, and it makes this middle linebacker think that he's going to Demarcus Robinson, but it's not. He's going behind him to Tyreek Hill for 15 yards on the play. And that's exactly what they needed to do more over the levels play. But again, this is a picture perfect representation of the concept working and Mahomes working the pocket. Okay. It's beautiful. Okay. You have the pocket, he steps up into it. He has his feet set. Everything works mechanically. He steps into the throw, delivers it on time in motion. Okay. Like that's everything. All right. It's what it is. This is it. This is the perfect representation of what they have to do. The levels concept. You can see it developing. There's McCole Hardman taking him out. Harry Kill kind of slowing him down, going behind him. And then here it is. You got three guys coming. 1, 2, 3. Holmes steps up, delivers a strike on time. Boom. Multiple times he could have done this in this game, hitting Tyreek Hill in stride like that over the middle of the field. And he didn't do it. But this is the perfect job of that. Okay. It's perfect. That's what they need to do more of. So at the end of the day, for me, when I saw, the game, I think that they need to run the ball a bit more. They need to run specifically more power. Okay. The more power, more gap concepts to get the best out of the running backs that they have, specifically in the red zone. More of those levels concepts over the middle of the field, and then be able to adjust your routes a little bit at the top of the route. When you see so much condensed space and so many defenders in one area, you got to adjust some of your route concepts. You have to get some more corners and get some more of those outside breaking curls, get timing down. Okay. They have to be able to run some of those. And then that perfect picture, perfect Mahomes work in the pocket, step up, deliver a throw on a levels concept over the middle of the field. If they can start attacking right behind those linebackers, in between the deep safeties and right behind the linebackers you're seeing, that's how they're going to continuously find intermediate and deeps over the middle and in throughout the rest of the season. If you can do that, defenses have to start playing linebackers back more. You start running more crossers. You hit those flats, you can move some of those space defenders and hit some of those curls and those slants that they've been trying to hit. And they're starting to do it more. Okay. Those curls, those flat routes, even though you see multiple times Byron Pringle and Jerick McKinnon just standing there, they will hit them, use more jet sweeps with McCole Hardman, get some speed to the outside. I think that's very important. They have to be able to attack the edges of the defense, okay? Because they're putting a bunch of defenders in the middle of it. Attack the edges, attack the corners, attack the sidelines. That's how you're going to be able to defend and defeat these huge amounts of cover 4, cover 2, and then cover 2 man that they're seeing, okay? So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Again, thank you so much for joining me on these Wednesday night. I love doing film breakdowns. It's the reason I got into doing anything, and it's the reason that I'm here today with you guys. So I don't believe I missed any super chats on the day. Again, I appreciate you guys being here with me. It's so much fun going through. I will fix the drawing aspect. I'll figure out how to get it to work properly. So I'm going to go through all that stuff and figure it out. Again, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys being here with me, and you guys have a great night and go Chiefs.